There are 3 articles in today's paper on the same thing. Argentina in court to fight debt ruling. This is just a wonderful, it's not so much about the subject for today, but here's the story. In 2001, Argentina, big country, South America, right, basically defaulted on its debt. It built up a lot of debt, and it just said, you know what, we're not paying. Okay, and this was a big shock, okay, to the world financial system, and so there's a lot of moaning and complaining about all of this. Ultimately, this led the bondholders, the people on the other side of that debt, to come to the bargaining table and to negotiate a reduction in the debt. Reduction is usually called restructuring, okay, but restructuring means less, okay. Extension of terms, lowering of the interest rate, whatever. So the bondholders took a hit, okay. But not all the bondholders. 93% of the bondholders by value, okay, came and they agreed to this, and they got new bonds, these new restructured bonds. What happened to the other 7%? The other 7% were holdouts, okay? These were bondholders, so-called, they're hedge funds, who said, we don't accept this settlement, okay? We would like to be paid in full, thank you very much, and we're going to take you to court, okay? So here's the debt ruling. Took them to court, and what a New York court has just now said is the following, that unless these old bonds that weren't restructured, these 7%, okay, are paid in full, okay, you're not allowed to pay any of the restructured bonds because you need to treat all bondholders the same, okay? That if you've made promises to one bondholder, you can't put another bondholder in front of the line. Okay, well, this of course undermines the whole restructuring to begin with. You know, that if there's no force of law forcing the other people to go along with this, now what? Whoever's going to agree to a restructuring, okay? In most modern sovereign debt contracts, there's something called a collective action clause, CACS, collective action clause, okay, which allows the majority to impose their will on the minority, okay, so that there can't be holdouts, okay. But in the specific debt in 2001, there were not CACs, okay, there were not collective action clauses, and the bonds were issued under U.S. law, okay, which is why they're being litigated in New York. So Argentina is all upset about this because unless what this means, there's a bond payment on the restructured bonds that's due in the middle of next month, okay? So they're in a hard place because they either make payments on the bonds that were the holdouts, okay, or they can't make any payments at all and they default on all their debt, okay? So this is a pretty interesting little cliff. We've heard of other cliffs, fiscal cliff. This is a monetary cliff, okay, that Argentina is facing. Well, so the FT weighs in itself. The lead editorial, ruling underlines importance of collective action clauses. I'll say it does. I'll say it does. But they also say, look, there was no collective action clause there, but there was sort of an implicit one. There's a reason why we have collective action clauses explicit now, and it's precisely to avoid this problem, okay? Because if one bondholder can hold out and prevent agreement, okay, this is a social loss. You know, there's very large externalities to that, and we need to prevent that from happening. And so it's sometimes a good thing for bondholders just to take a loss, okay, instead of causing the whole financial system to break down. And it's in the interest of the bondholders themselves, is the point, okay? And as a group, okay, even if it's not in the interest of individual bondholders. So the FT is weighing in favor of CACs. And there's another article too, yes, here, by the former governor of Argentina's central bank. And former Bank of England director. So this is going to be an interesting saga, okay, that we're going to see. Basically, what the FT calls for is let's kick this thing up to the Supreme Court in the United States ASAP, okay, and get this thing reversed, okay. So we'll see what happens about that.